We're here in ancient Ringwood. We're hunting treasures, or just ancient civilizations and proof of them. And all of a sudden, I suspected an area and a spot. Look what we came up on. Mound. Dude, there might be a cave right there. Or a mine. Secret mines. I thought, hey, Robert Erskine wrote a lot about this stuff he wanted to protect at Ringwood Manor, and he wouldn't leave even when his life was threatened by George Washington's letter that said, we picked up correspondence that spies, British spies, are coming to kill you. And Robert Erskine said, I'm staying here in Ringwood. And Washington was like, you're crazy, I love you. Come stay with me in Morristown, you're protected. Robert Erskine was like, no, there's too much to protect here. And all of a sudden, we walk back, we find all this, we continue. I just hope there's not a bunch of bears and mountain lions hiding out in here. But all of a sudden, we find a secret mine that nobody knows about back here. Filled with water. All the rock that was dug out of the mine is here. And right here behind my friend Hunter. And nobody knows this is back here. We found this. Indiana Jones style. Real. Look at this. That's a mine. If anybody knows anything about the old iron mines in Ringwood, what they look like, check that out. Now, we all know there's only one way to explore something like that. And I'm not equipped for scuba diving today. So, we're going to continue down this path because, I mean, what are we, 10, 15 minutes in? And very fruitful already, so it's now documented, recorded. This will be on YouTube very soon. Stay tuned, guys. We're going to keep exploring and discovering this stuff because if you want to look into the history, think about Ramapough Mountains, Ramapough native tribes. Go a step further back, Lenni Lenape. They just received a lot of awareness in New York City. They were recognized, I believe, by the federal government, and they're getting a lot of reparations, and they now have the ability to have tax-free status and open up stores to sell native products again and reinstitute the native culture that had sustained for thousands upon thousands, tens of thousands of years in peace and harmony and sustainability, and we can't even make 300 years last. So maybe there's something to learn there. Maybe this updated revival of the culture and this redemption is going to do something positive for the human species, and that's why we're out here in ancient Ringwood rediscovering things that haven't been seen in probably 300 years. Look up Robert Erskine. The Hewitt family inherited this property, but they were industrialists and modernized ways, and they were very intelligent mystics, but iron mining industry was gone. But there are secrets left back here that the natives had taught Robert Erskine that allowed what became the United States to defeat the British in the Revolutionary War and all the other Hessians and everybody else that they were fighting that we weren't really taught about in history. This is where a certain amount of benevolent, enlightened mystics and masons and kind people who wanted to see the best for this country and maintain the beauty and majesty that it was, because they showed up in Eden. And everybody knew that. That's why everybody was fighting over this area so adamantly. And this was the crossroads of the revolution. Yeah, George Washington represented Virginia and all this different stuff. He based himself in Morristown, New Jersey, and Ringwood, New Jersey. And you can read about it in the true history, not that nonsense they're teaching propaganda-wise in school, quite honestly. I have discovered more in the 2 years that I've been exploring these woods than I ever learned by any teacher or from any teacher in any curriculum in any school ever. And I can guarantee it's the same for you. So get out there and explore and just give the truth to the people, because that's what we're going to continue to do. And I guarantee we stumble upon something crazy, because I believe this was ancient Atlantis 50,000 years ago or whatever, before the last deluge and all that stuff happened and all this false history started being created by fragmented things that people think they understand. All right? Find it out. That's what we're doing. Get out there. So we're sprinting through the woods, following water, the sound of water. I look right and I stop. Hunter looks at me and he goes, Stonehenge. And look at this big guy, right? Right on the other side, this big guy, and it goes down a bit. Right, all these giant stones circled around, and then as we're walking up, can you see this wall? And these are big. That's like a 500-pound stone at least. And look at what's here as you walk in. So right away you don't see stuff necessarily, but when you really try to perceive, there's a whole entire path. And they've marked it as a trail, but I know these little trail conference people did not move these rocks into place. Wild. More to come. Ancient Atlantis, Ringwood. Peace.
This is cool.
Oh, I fucking knew it. I fucking knew it. Look, we're at the top of the mountain. We just climbed up like 900 feet. And all of a sudden I see all this stacked building right there. Look, secret mine. Another secret mine. Holy God, Jesus. Robert Erskine wrote about him having secret mines and nobody ever found them. And they're all up on this secret mountain. The invisible mountain. Look. Do you see this shit? We're literally, there was a path that went up the side of the mountain like in those old fairy tales. Oh, and it started like 800 feet up the mountain. We kept following it. Hunter goes, look, it kind of looks like it goes up there. We go on this diagonal right up and we see all this stone structure. Look at this. This is at the top of a mountain in Ringwood. This path hasn't been walked on. It looks like there was trees toppled over it the whole way up. Big, thick trees. As if it's been at least a couple hundred years. We're literally at the top of the mountain. If you know Ringwood, we're at one of the peaks that nobody knows about this mountain. I read about it in this Robert Erskine book from letters that he wrote 300 years ago to George Washington. Infinitely deep. See all those bubbles? Still going. Still going. Still going. Wow. You do the calculations. I'm not a physicist in that aspect, but good Lord. And we're on like a little bridge. Look at this. I'm going to zoom out. Hunter's standing on like this bridge. One mine. Two mines. At the top of the mountain. And it splits up and we're still going to go further up because these were secret mines on the top of the mountain. Oh my God. We're literally probably 800-900 feet up on the top of a mountain hidden. So this is crazy. This mountain disappears. It doesn't show up in photographs when taken from the Ringwood Manor, but you can see it from the street. And getting to this mountain, we have to cross electrical wires. You can probably see them down there. See those electrical wires in that field? And then across from that is Ringwood Manor and Skylands Manor up on that hill. But for some reason, the electromagnetic field that those wires create and the magnetite and iron ore in this mountain make it invisible in photographs. So call me out on this, check this. But this is crazy. Nobody knows about this stuff but us. And I suspected it through all these dots I've been connecting throughout history. And we just found it. We found 3 secret mines today that nobody knows about. 2 of which are they're adjacent to each other on top of a mountain. Mines are usually at the bottom of mountains as far as I know. You guys check me. So what were they mining up here? What is in these things? We're going to keep exploring. More to come. Ancient Ringwood, Atlantis, all this magic is going to be uncovered very soon. I mean, it is uncovered. Now we just got to get scuba suits and shit and get into this thing. Peace. All right, so we keep going and we get to this peak of a little interesting rock structure up there, and we get down. What we see looks like more holes. We found one over there, which we'll show you in a bit, and we found this one. Crazy hunter doing jumps over this giant oblong cave mine structure. This whole mountain seems to be hollow. And some were man-made mines. This kind of looks like it's natural somehow.
Almost.
Who knows how deep all this stuff goes. Can you see that? Yeah, you can see that. Let me try to get... You see in there? Isn't that wild? That's probably 10 yards, 15 yards long, and like only about 3 yards wide, 4 yards wide, 3 maybe. And it goes down deep. So from where we're standing, it's probably 15, 20 feet down to the water, and who knows how deep that water goes. But that's awesome. We're gonna keep finding more. I'm gonna keep filming it. Holy shit, I thought Hunter just fell in. There was a rock. We gauge how deep it goes from how long it continues to send bubbles up, because that's how long it's keeping air underneath it as it's accelerating downward and releasing it. And there's more. Here we are. Yet again, another one. Remember, we're on the top of a mountain here. Pretty close to the top of the mountain. Very high up in relativity in these Ramapough Mountains, and these Appalachian Mountains. Y'all see that? Kind of nervous to go down bottom because there's tons of hunters hunting down there. We were probably about 100 yards from shotguns being shot, so I kind of look like a black bear today. Hunter looks a little more human. So if I get shot today, this is all documented before I got shot, and y'all are lucky, because then you can come explore, because I'll be on the other side kind of guiding.
Oh yeah, this all looks like quartz right here. It is quartz.
Can you see that sparkle on camera? This giant rock is sparkling. Top of a mountain. Look. We're on the top of the mountain. There's the Wanakee Reservoir, wind beam. See these walls? Continuing to walk down this path that's been covered up by decades, if not centuries, of compost, but there's still walls up here. We're like 700-800 feet up on the mountain. This path just winds around. Some type of structure was built here. And it goes to this deep mine. So 2 other mines. So there's 4 mines up here, and then 1 down below that we found.
Yes.
Nobody knows about these ones. These aren't the ones that Ford came and dumped in. These are secret ones that were written about in journals and private letters hundreds of years before that have been lost and forgotten about. Almost protected by nature or some other force. Very interesting stuff here.